Section 7 of Birds and All Nature, Volume 4, Number 6, December 1898. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Aaron Walsh. If these exquisite little creatures are called hummingbirds, you little folk may ask, why wasn't the bee called a buzzard because it buzzes? Well, really, that is a question which I will not attempt to answer. But the fact remains that no other name would have been so appropriate for these jewel-like birds but the one above, on account of the humming sound which they produce when hovering in their curious fashion over a tempting blossom, and feeding on its contents while suspended in the air. There are 467 species of these little birds, and no two of them, it is said, make precisely the same sound, one producing a noise exactly like the whizzing of a wheel driven by machinery, while that of another is very like the droning hum of a large bee. But no two voices in even one human family, are alike, so it is not amazing that the rule holds good among the birds. You can capture and tame these lovely little creatures, though I wouldn't advise you to keep them in a cage very long. They will pine away and look very doleful if you do. Rather, after you have accustomed them to your presence, and feed them regularly upon the honey and syrup and other sweets which they dearly love, open the cage door and give them their liberty. A gentleman once did this, and was delighted to see them return to their old quarters in a very little while. By watching them the next morning after setting them free again, he found they had been pining for a nice fresh garden spider, which they had been accustomed to daintily pick from the center of his web. He had provided them with spiders and flies, but they wanted to flit about and search for themselves. For dessert, they liked the sweets which he gave them, so back they went to their cage, instead of extracting it from the flowers with their long bills, as they were wont to do. A hummingbird one summer built its nest in a butternut tree very near Our Lady's window. She could look right down into its nest, and one day, as it began to rain, she saw the mother bird take one or two large leaves from a tree nearby and cover her little birdlings with it. She understood how to make an umbrella, didn't she? Minutest of the feathered kind, possessing every charm combined, Nature, in forming thee, designed that thou shouldst be a proof within how little space she can comprise such perfect grace, rendering thy lovely fairy race beauty's epitome. It has been said that what a beautiful sonnet is to the mind, one of these fairy-like creations is to the eyes. This is true even in the case of mounted specimens, which must necessarily have lost some of their iridescence. Few can hope to see many of them alive. The gorgeous little birds are largely tropical, the northern limit of their abundance as species being the Tropic of Cancer. They are partial to mountainous regions, where there is diversity of surface and soil sufficient to meet their needs within a small area. The highlands of the Andes in South America are the regions most favored by a large number of species. They are most abundant in Ecuador, the mountain heights affording a home for more than 100 species. Colombia has about 100 species. Bolivia and Peru claim about 96. Then follow, in consecutive order, Central America, Brazil, Venezuela, Mexico, Guyana, the West Indies, and the United States. The eastern part of the United States has but one representative of the hummingbird family, and only 17 species have been found within the limits of the country. As 10 of these really belong to the Mexican group, we can claim ownership of only 7, most of which, however, migrate far south in the winter. Only one of these, the Ana, spends the winter in the warm valleys of California. Most of the hummers are honey lovers, and they extract the sweetest juices of the flowers. The soft susurrations of their wings, as they poise above the flowers, inserting their long beaks into tubes of nectar, announce their presence. Some of the warblers and kinglets will sometimes poise in this way before a leaf and peck an insect from its surface, but it is not a regular habit with them. The hummer's ability to move backwards while on the wing is one of the most wonderful features of its flight, and this movement, Mr. Ridgway says, is greatly assisted by a forward flirt of the bird's expanded tail. The nests of the hummingbirds, which are of cup shape and turban shape, are composed chiefly of plant down, interwoven and bound together with spider webs, and decorated with lichens and mosses. Usually, the nest is saddled upon a horizontal or slanting branch or twig, but that of the hermit hummer is fastened to the sides of long, pointed leaves, where they are safe from monkeys and other predaceous animals. Dwelling in the snowy regions of the Andes are the little gems called hill stars, says Leander S. Kaiser, which build a structure as large as a man's head, at the top of which there is a small cup-shaped depression. In these dainty structures the eggs are laid, lying like gems in the bottom of the cups, and here the little ones are hatched. Some of them look more like bugs than birds when they first come from the shell. The method of feeding the young is mostly by regurgitation. At least such is the habit of the ruby-throat, and no doubt many others of the family follow the fashions of the hummingbird land. The process is as follows. The parent bird thrusts her long bill far down into the throat of her bantling, and then, by a series of forward plunges that are really terrible to witness, the honey food is pumped from the old bird's craw into that of the youngster. So far as is known, the babies enjoy this vigorous exercise and suffer no serious consequences from it. End of section 7. This recording is in the public domain.